Disney villains. It can't be denied that villains were once a staple of Disney's animated features. These iconic characters are unabashedly evil, self-serving, scene-stealing divas. Disney villains are so iconic that more often than not, when someone says the word villain, people often think of a Disney villain, or maybe even Disney itself. Though Disney nowadays seems to prefer a more abstract approach to villains, being either generational trauma, as showcased in Encanto. Way to go, giving your entire family excessive anxiety, Grandma. Or internal conflict or fear, as shown in the Frozen franchise. I don't count Hans as a Disney villain, because Disney itself doesn't even consider him one. He wasn't even included in Once Upon a Studio. That's how much everyone hates him. I'd argue the last Disney villain that felt like a callback to the glory days was Mother Gothel from Tangled. Mother truly does know best. Also, if Catherine Hahn doesn't play Mother Gothel in the live-action adaptation of Tangled, I am really going to throw my toys out of the pram. Magnifico in Wish felt like an echo of what we have lost, but he deserves a video all of his own. For well over half a century, Disney villains have loomed large in their stories, from Queen Grimhild being consumed by jealousy and vanity that drove her to commit murder, to Mother Gothel stealing a baby to preserve her own beauty, inspiring some fans to formulate a fan theory that connects Mother Gothel and the evil queen together, even as going as far as suggesting that they're one and the same person. Though I'm not one to dive into fan theories, they may share traits and motivations that led them to eventually have this so-called deep connection. Personality-wise, they are vastly different, so to me, this theory doesn't hold water. And Scar, the only Disney villain that actually succeeded in his evil plan of killing his own brother purely to make himself king. Hades, my personal favorite Disney villain, because I never need a new excuse to fangirl over my favorite character ever, do I? Gotta squeeze in every opportunity I get. His motivation was similar to Scar, but was less hands-on. They both want to take over the kingdom that their brother happens to rule. Yeah, Scar definitely has a more hands-on approach when it comes to murder. Or should I say, claws on? Or off. Well, I guess essentially poisoning someone, or in this case using a potion to take away their immortality, is a lot less messy than just, letting them fall to their doom. What can I say? The guy likes to delegate. It's kind of the entire point of having minions, really. And yeah, we're gonna talk about him a lot later. Disney villains have a lot of similarities in their motives. They drive the plot of their movies, setting the ball in motion which leads to their eventual and very deserved defeat. But in spite of being evil, these are characters we have grown to love. We love villains because they offer us a way to safely explore darker actions or traits without fear of judgment. We love Disney villains especially because they allow us to explore these traits in a mostly family-friendly way. We know their downfall is inevitable and more than deserved. Though some villains have more violent ends than others, I think if it was a competition, Clayton would win. We do at times find ourselves rooting for them purely to ride along with their joy of the freedom from morality. Villains are simply more memorable than protagonists are. They're more fun and entertaining, more theatrical, and also provide a mysterious unknown element to the story. How did they end up this way? Why do they do the things they do? Okay, for some it's basically for either power or money. Insert obvious meme joke here. But for some villains who have more depth and more nuance to their movies, their motivations can range from bitterness, revenge, or simply under the delusion they are doing the right thing. Oh hi Frollo, how you doing? We love them for their confidence, assertiveness, decisiveness, unapologetically going after their ambition no matter what it may cost them. Their complexity in comparison to the protagonists make them far more fascinating and interesting. It's one of the many reasons why more recently we are seeing a surge of movies from the villain's point of view, or of villains turning good, or are portrayed as victim of circumstance instead of true villainy. Though Disney's live-action retelling of Maleficent's story was basically them throwing the toys out of their pram because they couldn't get the rights to make Wicked. Literally, thank goodness that Universal got the rights to that before Disney got the grubby hands on it. But also more to the point, how dare they make a movie called Maleficent, who's meant to be the mistress of all evil, and have her be a victim of circumstance. Yeah, if you can't tell, I hate the Maleficent movies. And rumour has it the live-action adaptation of Hercules is now going to be all about Hades, and I am praying to my God that please do not make Hades, the Lord of the Dead, a victim of circumstance. Even though he technically is already, and that was his initial motivation in the original animated movie from 1997. Their arcs are just so much more fun than the goofy two-shoes we often get as protagonists. And what could be better than having all the Disney villains under one roof in a crossover show? The potential here is immense. So, what the heck happened, Disney? There are more than 127 Disney villains now, spanning over 100 years of history, brought to life in movies, sequels, TV shows, video games, and even in the Disney theme parks, which I am yet to attend. And what better way to celebrate the Disney villains than to give them their very own movie? This is what Disney advertised Disney's House of Villains to be back in 2001. A feature-length episode based on the TV show House of Mouse, where the villains take over the club with their own campy anthem declaring, "It's our house now." But did it deliver what was promised? Insert long awkward silence while I stare at the viewer here. Let's talk about Disney's House of Mouse, and by extension, Disney's so-called movie House of Villains. So there are a handful of shows I can say that helped shape my personality while growing up. Out of the few shows I was allowed to watch as a child anyway, House of Mouse was one of those shows. Irreverent humour, self-awareness, fourth wall breaks, you know, all that good stuff. Oh, by the way, once you're done reading the comment section, feel free to scroll back up and continue watching the video whenever you want. Do we have enough meta humour in this video yet? I've got more. And of course, seeing my favourite Disney characters again in a new animated setting really appealed to me, especially seeing the villains just be people. Jafar, for instance, being obsessed with lamps. Not just magical lamps, but regular table lamps. There should be fan art of Jafar holding Luxo Jr. Or even just Jafar doing the Steve Carell I love lamp meme. You know what, actually I swear meme culture is killing our ability to use spontaneous originality. But reference jokes are always funny. It's so random and silly, but the acting and writing embrace the silliness, while still remaining true to the character. Though the characters often are just seen for cameo purposes in the show, there are some fun, if brief, interactions between characters from different franchises. Oh. Well, this is awkward. I never knew I wanted a Pocahontas Robin Hood crossover until I saw this. House of Mouse pulls on a lot of nostalgia heartstrings, or pulls on the udders of the nostalgia cow, because we've got to milk it for all it's worth. And also as a show, I feel made reference jokes serve a legit purpose. Though crossovers are commonplace nowadays, in the 90s and early 2000s, crossovers were actually kinda rare. Even rarer were shows where their entire premise is crossovers or cameos. The entertainment empire built by Walt Disney is sometimes called House of Mouse, so it's only fitting that a nightclub where all the characters hang out have the same name. But only movie characters, not TV characters. It's a very exclusive club, apparently.
Don't touch the villain, dear.
Okay, so it might be seen as nothing more than a showcase for plugging Disney characters. Originally airing on ABC from January 2001 till May 2002, before moving to Toon Disney and the Disney Channel, this was the only way people who lived in the UK, like me, could see it. House of Mouse and the movies based on the show are sadly not on Disney+. Why? Well, licensing and ownership issues mostly, but unsurprisingly it's more to do with Disney not wanting to pay the residuals for every single voice actor who appears in the series. So yeah, as everything is when it comes to Disney, it is a financial decision to keep it off the streaming platform. Basically, there's no definitive answer. In my personal opinion, it's to do with residual pay and the technical issues when it comes to streaming a show that's in a different format for modern streaming. But then again, I don't think the technical issues is a good enough reason, since we have silly symphonies made in the 30s on Disney+. So who the hell knows? Basically, Disney doesn't entirely own the streaming rights to House of Mouse. ABC and other third parties do, since the show first aired on ABC. The show also has a lot of songs in it that adds even more obstacles. So, in other words, Disney does own ABC, but it doesn't own the streaming rights of the shows that ABC owns. Yeah, my brain hurts thinking about it too. Boring red tape nonsense, basically, blah blah blah. You can own it, but you can't use it, but it means no one else can either, so thanks, Michael Rat. There's also the issue of quality control. House of Mouse is over 20 years old. God, it's almost old enough to drink. And restoring the show to its original quality or enhancing it for modern viewers is a big job. But saying all that, it doesn't mean it will never make it to Disney+. I mean, we can dream, or wish upon a star, or some other cheesy generic positive statement to give us hope. House of Mouse is the last show that featured Mickey Mouse to use traditional hand-drawn animation. It was a successor to the short-lived Mickey Mouse Works show, an update to the classic Disney shorts. House of Mouse showed a lot of reruns from Mickey Mouse Works, as well as classical theatrical cartoons, some made specifically for the show, having 52 episodes in total. Talk about a literal full house. So, let's be real here. House of Mouse is more of a showcase of Disney animated shorts than a full-fledged show. The cartoons in every episode didn't just serve as filler or to pad out the runtime, but instead each episode served as a framing plot with cartoons that fit the theme, more or less, as said plot. So the episode was more of a wraparound for the cartoons shown. Without the shorts, each episode comes to being around 7 minutes long, and during the process of collecting the footage for this video, I not only rewatched every episode, but also edited out all the animated shorts, so I have all the episodes in their 7-minute format, including the House of Villains movie. While most episodes usually have 2 or maybe 3 shorts, House of Villains has 8, all of them Halloween themed. Kinda. House of Mouse is, in my opinion, a close to perfect balance of storytelling and filler. Sadly, the same thing cannot be said for House of Villains. This so-called movie is mainly a collection of shorts to pad out the runtime in between short segments with new animation made specifically for the movie, the longest being the sequence for It's Our House Now song. All the villains come together and come up with a plot to take over the club, being led by Jafar for some reason. I would have thought that if there was going to be a movie about the Disney villains, the one in charge would be the Evil Queen. Or Maleficent even. In fact, Maleficent would make more sense considering the whole Phantasmic show from the Disney parks. It would be cool to see that actually put to animation sometime. But no, instead we get Jafar. I don't know why. Maybe because arguably he's the most flamboyant and the most theatrical villain. I mean, it still worked. They made it work, but it still feels a little off to me. Especially because having Jafar as the main villain of the show, the lamp is used as a deus ex machina at the end to easily defeat him. Talk about anticlimactic. You know how I said the show was a perfect balance of story and filler? This movie was 90% filler. The movie itself, if you can call it that, when you skip the shorts, is barely 9 minutes long, just 2 minutes longer than an actual episode. Advertising it as a movie is very misleading, but even the 9 minutes has reused animation from the series. Like from the first episode of the show, when Jafar arrives to the club via the Cave of Wonders Tiger Head entrance, but with new voiceover.
Happy Halloween.
This was essentially a Halloween special, let's just face it. The only villain who gets to shine in this Halloween special is Jafar, having the most lines in the show, and the one who instigates the plan to take over the club, and the one ultimately defeated by Mickey Phantasmic style. And even then he pulls the brakes on the plot, bringing it to a standstill so Mickey could play his cartoons in his club. And when the villains do take over the club, all they do after they sing their song is watch more cartoons. I have to ask, what was the bloody point of taking it over if all you're going to do is exactly what you were doing before? You could have shown the villains arguing over who could be in charge, who does what, have a brawl or breakout, and have Mickey then come in and solve the conflict. But oh wait, there's actually an episode with this actual plot! In season 3, episode 18, the episode called Pete's House of Villains is this exact plot. It's House of Villains, except instead of Jafar being the main villain, it's Pete. It just feels incredibly repetitious when your so-called feature-length movie based on House of Mouse, House of Villains, has a story plot that you've already done in the series itself. But let's not waste time wishing on what could have been. What does this show and the special do right? It's a genuinely funny series, being self-aware and full of irreverent humour, which is right up my street. The animation is pretty decent too, though it does recycle a lot of lines from other shows, specifically with scenes featuring my favourite, Hades. I don't have a problem, leave me alone. 2 episodes of the show focus solely on Hades in season 3. Suddenly Hades when the AC breaks in the club and Hades is the only one that can withstand the heat. And if the Lord of the Dead ever overstays his welcome in any venue, just play him the Tiki Tiki song. But I think that would clear out any room, to be honest with you. Another episode, which is my personal favourite, is Halloween with Hades, where Hades and Maleficent go on a date. I love how this matchup is completely canon, considering they were also a couple in the Descendants franchise. Even if I love Kristen Chenoweth to death, I do feel this was a miscast. It's also the same episode that has the famous clip of Hades chasing Mickey and screaming roasted mouse at him.
You know what sounds nice to me? Roasted mouse!
Hades is being the literal reaction of everyone anytime Disney announces another live-action remake. Oh, we also have Hades dress up as Mickey Mouse in this episode, and have James Woods talk like Mickey Mouse, who is an Oscar-nominated actor, by the way.
Oh boy, that's swell. See you real soon. Hot dog. Gosh, how you doing? Hey, Minnie.
Oh hey, yeah, that's great. I'm always on the lookout for more nightmare fuel. In that regard, Disney never disappoints. The show recycles a few lines from the Hercules TV show, like Hercules and the Big Kiss, where after he prevents a window from being slammed in his face by Cassandra and says, "Love that."
Love that.
House of Villains reused this line when Mickey says Hades was painting the town dead.
Why, I even saw Hades. He was really painting the town dead.
Love that.
Oh, and let's not forget the so-called Hades blooper reel that the show included, which also used several lines from the Hercules series.
And we got our hands on his blooper reel. Security, investigate that dangerous noise coming from over there.
Hey, I can deal with that.
You'll have to fry me first, Hades.
Hey, I can deal with that.
Hey, Dad, I didn't get any cavities, and I'm the star of the school play.
Cut! Look, he was clearly going for his sword. Look, he was clearly going for his sword. I hate this. This is just, it's too much. I want to lift my head. I gotta just blast something. Pain, panic. Could you come here a minute? I hate this. This is just, it's too much. I want to rip that head. I gotta just blast something. Pain, panic. Could you come here a minute?
And there's 2 lines taken from the Hercules episode Hercules and the Drama Festival from Hades. One when he's exposed to the Cronus Stone and is made sleepy, he says, "I didn't order decaf, what happened?"
What's going on? I didn't order decaf. What happened? Hello?
This line is actually used twice in The House of Mouse. First in episode 1 of season 2, Daisy's debut.
Hello. What's going on? I didn't order decaf. What happened? Hello?
And again in the episode Goofy for a Day from season 2 as well.
I didn't order decaf.
The line from Drama Festival, "I fail to see the humour," is also used in the episode Daisy's debut.
I failed to see the humor. I failed to see the humor.
Okay, one more that I just came across. A line from the episode Hercules and the Prom, when Hades kidnaps Orpheus to the underworld, is used in the episode Goofy for a Day.
Hades, Lord of the Dead, how you doing? These are my minions, Pain and Panic. They'll be abducting you to the underworld tonight.
Good evening, I'm Max. I'll be your waiter tonight, Mr. Zeus.
Hades, Lord of the Dead, how you doing? These are my minions, Pain and Panic. They'll be abducting you to the underworld tonight.
It just seems weird to me that in spite of having James Woods come to voice Hades in episodes of the show that they reused lines from the Hercules TV series. Again, probably to do with residual payments. And that's enough fangirling over Hades. Let's circle back and talk about the cartoon itself again. Because we're getting close to the end of the runtime of the video and I need to bookend this somehow, otherwise I'm going to end up talking about Hades non-stop for the rest of time. House of Mouse was mainly created to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Walt Disney's birth, featuring characters in the Disney animated canon since Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to Atlantis the Lost Empire. Many references to live-action Disney movies are made as well as references to the Disney park rides and experiences. Not that I've experienced any of those things. Okay. The short Once Upon a Studio, released in 2023, does give some hope that we could perhaps one day get a House of Mouse style show. The technology is here, but red tape being red tape probably will prevent this from ever happening. What can I say? I am a bloody cynic. So, was House of Villains utterly pointless? Maybe, but it had the potential to serve up what most long-term Disney fans like myself crave. More screen time with the villains. Yeah, it was a lukewarm plate of flavourless filler, and it promised so much and then was just 9 extra minutes of villains dancing around singing a song together, which was pretty much the trailer for the movie, so we'd already seen all of this. Was it a waste of time? No, just a disappointment and not really a lot of rewatch value. But at least the song itself is fun. I'm Mad Munchkin. Stay creative.